Howdy ho there, neighbors. It is a nice Atlantic afternoon here in the far-off land of Cleveland, Ohio. And we have a slight flurry coming down. And I'm heading out to pick up my wife from work over today. And let me see how they get going here. Switch road. There's always people parked here on this road. I don't know why. Anyway, I was thinking about this AI thing, this AI craze. And I gotta be honest with everybody. I'm an artist. I'm a writer, a musician, a singer, a painter, a photographer, filmmaker. And I love AI art. I really like it. I really enjoy using it. It's not really completely usable yet. It's really not. They haven't worked all the bugs out of it yet, but I use ChatGPT quite a bit. It's now become my digital assistant. It's become like a great tool to come up with keywords, hashtags, descriptions to videos, stuff that I used to labor over. It comes up with thumbnails. Most of the thumbnails are pretty cartoonish in appearance. But I can come up with stuff in Sora or in video. And it all costs money, but you know, if I was to hire somebody off of Fiverr, I'd have to establish some type of working relationship with them. I'd have to sit there and talk with them and get to know them and make sure they were happy and make sure they're paid and yada, 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 on and on it goes. And I'm telling you, I like it. And I think it's fun. It's fun and exciting. It's immediate. See, when I first got into photography, I've always gotten into photography, but I never had a professional or even a 35 millimeter camera. I had the old film point and shoot cameras, like Kodak pocket cameras. And you take your film over to Photomat and they would develop film for you. So I'd never been in a dark room. I never processed my own film. I had never done any of that. But when digital cameras came out, and then there was Photoshop, I was in absolute heaven because it was almost all instantaneous. And with my severe ADHD, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I can just pop it in the computer and there's the picture, make a couple of quick adjustments and it's done. And I'm telling you, I love it. And I just think all the people out there, the suckers who went and got a 5-year degree in filmmaking, all you are bitching and whining and complaining because you're out of work. The graphic designers, the web designers, all these people, don't bother me one bit because nobody will hire me as a photographer or a filmmaker or an editor. So screw you all. I'll just use the software to edit my own videos. I won't hire anybody to do it. I'll use software to come up with B-roll footage that I can't get off of Pond 5 or iStock or Getty. Screw you all. You all spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a fancy degree in areas of the world that they're not hiring anymore. And I feel, yeah, it's a threat. It's a threat to all of our jobs, sure. But I don't have a job right now. I'm self-employed, trying to make it as a filmmaker and a writer and everything else under the sun. Hire an employee. And I hired a cinematographer for one film, and he just walked out in the middle of production without even giving me notice. He just said, hey, I gotta go. I'm moving. Oh, really? That's it? He's like, that's it. Sorry. All right. Never saw him again. I can tell you this, Sora or InVideo or ChatGPT, they don't walk out on you. Now, I do have questions about the legality of it and copyright. You know, he's online now saying, oh, well, how do you copyright something? Where do they get this information from? How is if you type in create a picture of a kitten juggling roosters, Where is it getting that image from? Is it pulling pieces from other people's art? How do you know where it's coming from? How does it know what kind of engine is it using? Is it going out to all the servers around the world and grabbing pieces of pictures? I don't know how it works. But hey, I've got thousands of pictures of my own out there that I've published over the last 15 years. I don't know. May as well just use them. If somebody wants to grab my picture, that's fine. I've found my pictures being used all over the place without my permission. What am I going to do? Hire an attorney and fight every single person that grabs my photograph and uses it? I don't have that kind of cash. Not many people do. Or the luxury to just throw lawsuits around. But I love it. I mean, aside from the legality perspective of it and the copyright perspective of it and putting people out of work, it's putting me into work. It's helping me create. It's helping me do things that I couldn't do without having to hire a live, warm body, and I don't want to do that. Crap, if I could have a robot run a camera and just say, here's the camera. I kind of do. I've got a slider. I've got a robotic slider, and it takes the place of a cameraman, you know. I just set it up, make sure the focus is there, and the microphone and the audio is good, and I walk away, and that's it. I mean, I guess the thing I love about it is it's instantaneous, and I don't have to deal with people. If I can complete a creative project without having to collaborate with anybody, I will do it. Because I'll tell you this, I was talking to this young lady. I've talked to two different women about co-hosting my podcast with me. I have a podcast called PT Pop, A Mind Revolution. And both women were interested in it until they found how much work it was going to be. So the one woman just completely flat out backed out. The other one is like, oh, sure. But I really can't do it every week. I said, well, why don't we just do it once a month? She's like, sure. Oh, I'd love it. It'd be so much fun. Then she disappears. She decides she can't do it. And it's ridiculous. You cannot rely on people anymore. You know, creating a podcast is not like an arduous amount of work, especially if I'm doing all the research on the topic and we just talk about this particular topic on microphone. We don't even have to use cameras. You can't get anybody to commit to anything. And if I just found a software, I can't remember the name of the software, but you give the software a topic, you give it a script, and it creates a two-person podcast. A man and a woman, they talk about your subject. And I did one, and it mispronounced the only drawback was I did a thing about why gigsalad.com is a great place for musicians and artists to get gigs. And it kept mispronouncing gig salad as gig salad or something ridiculous like that. I'm like, where did it get this gig salad from? Like, is it French? Does the computer think it's French? So I had to nix that one, but I did create one that I haven't published yet. And the only problem with this software, I can't remember what it's called, the software, is that you can't change the voices. So it's the same man and woman. So if 1,000 people created 1,000 different podcasts, it's going to be the same host and co-host on every single one, which is ridiculous. Why they can't give me like a British woman and a male, or, you know, I could use my own voice, you know, program to use my own voice, but then my voice is out there. My voice is probably already out there to be sampled. But hey, if I can come up with a digital co-host, I'm all for it. Because I can't get anybody that's reliable. You can't get reliable people. But I love the instantaneous of it. I think when you create these videos through like Sora, and I even use Firefly. I bought Firefly for one day. It was horrible. Firefly's terrible. Adobe Firefly. But I like the way it creates these weird, creepy people and figures. It's just like in your dreams. These are like the weird, twisted people you see in your dreams, man. People that don't make any sense. Weird landscapes that kind of warped, like you're looking into a carnival mirror. And I kind of like that. It's kind of funny. I find it amusing. So I'm entertained by it. drawbacks. They get you coming and going. They charge you for everything. You know, well, if you want more than 5 minutes, it's $100 a month. I'm creating shorts in video, and all they do is pull up stock photography from like Getty and iStock and places like that. And unfortunately, some of the stuff they pull in there is awful. And then you have to go back, and it gives you the opportunity to pull different pieces out, delete them, and replace them with other stock shots that you select from their catalog, which to me is worth what you're spending on them video, because those stock videos cost sometimes $100, $200, $300, and it saves me a fortune. It saves me a lot of money, and I like the fact that it saved me money, but it saves me a lot of time too, because I don't have to go in, sign up for an account through iStock, then sort through all these different videos. It's already got the videos that pertain to the topic that I put in for the script. So I don't know, I like it, and it's got its its pluses and its minuses, just like anything, to be cliche. And I'm having fun with it. But have any of you used AI yet to help you with your creative endeavors? And what has the results been? And how do you like it? And what do you think of it? Because I really like it. I like it a lot, and I can only imagine if it's only been out for a few years. Can you imagine another couple of years how much better it's going to be? It does create some freaky weird people. Like anytime I put like office professional walking down an aisle of cubicles, it has them walking backwards with her feet facing the other way. It's really twisted and weird. So I'm gonna get going. I'm about to get on the freeway. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.